Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Peter, chef, pastry chef from Western Canada, Alberta, actually. So good morning to all. Might be a little bit early on the West Coast, but East Coast, you guys should be fine. So today we're promoting pure flour from Europe. Yeah. So the brand we're looking at today is Molino Grazie. Yeah. It's a nice baker's type flour, has good protein content, and it's good for a variety of uses. Very similar to an all-purpose flour. In this case, today we're going to be doing Japanese pancakes or souffle pancakes. I call them souffle pancakes as they're light and fluffy and they're quite kind of thick. A little bit different than your typical pancakes, which you see back home. So I'm going to start measuring some of my ingredients. Most of it I measured already because it contains egg yolks, egg whites. I have to separate that. The egg whites I'm going to whip up into a meringue. The yolks I'm going to combine with a bit of egg yolk and vanilla essence. And then fold in some flour, baking powder, and a little bit of salt as well. So I have my egg yolks here. Yeah, egg yolks here, pre-measured already. I'm going to mix 40 mils of milk. Just whisk that in there. Now we're not going to be cooking this. Vanilla, about 10 mils. That's all we need, just enough to flavor. Combine it. It doesn't take much. I'm going to keep that aside. And the next is my flour. So I need approximately 60 grams. Okay, there we go. Some baking powder. Okay, good. I'm just going to blend those flours together, those powders together. When you're doing small batches, it's very important to combine that. The mixing process goes a little bit quicker and a bit more even. Salt, a little bit of pinch of salt. Just going to blend that again as well. Now here is where I'm going to blend my egg yolk and flour. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that just to get it going. A little bit more as well. And then the remaining. Until we have a nice paste here. Next, I'm going to put my egg whites on, put my timer on as well. Okay, so my egg whites already, four egg yolks, 4 egg whites. Now, very important when you're making a meringue. So, for some of you that have made a meringue before, very important that the equipment is clean, very clean. Many places it's difficult to get all the the fats or I mean even fingerprints, things like that. So to clean the bowl, always warm water, give it a good wash, and then some salt. Rub your bowl with some salt, and that'll cut all the fat out of it. Yeah, this way you get a really nice foam that comes up quickly. So it doesn't take long. I'm going to put this on high speed now. Scrape down my bowl where my egg yolks are and flour, just so it doesn't dry to the side. So it's starting to come together nicely. It's starting to froth up. So at this point here, we're going to add sugar. So I have 50 grams of sugar. I'm going to slowly add it. So it's very important that you add slowly, little bits at a time. About 4 or 5 different additions, letting that blend in as you go. Now, some people like using icing sugar or powdered sugar. I'm not a big fan of it because it does have a bit of an aftertaste for me. I use granulated sugar, fine granulated sugar if possible, or castor sugar. Also, what you can do is let your egg whites warm up a little bit. You let them warm up a little bit, you get a little bit more volume, a little bit more stability. And dissolves the sugar, the granulated sugar, a little bit quicker. So as you're adding the sugar, you'll see that the meringue starts to jump up a little bit more, up a little bit more. By adding sugar, you get more volume, and it helps stabilize the structure as well. Okay. So that is almost ready. Now I'm just pre-warming my frying pan, just on the side here. I'll show you in a minute as soon as we're done. So once we're done, we're going to add some of the meringue egg white mixture. We're going to add it to the egg yolks in a couple of different stages. Add some egg yolks, or egg whites to the egg yolks, blend that in, add a little bit more, blend it in, and then the last bit we'll fold it in very carefully, so we don't collapse all of it. So it's looking pretty good here. I'm going to shut it off. So we should be at what they call stiff peaks. So that's what they mean by stiff peaks. Yeah, when you can hold it up, right side up like that. And your egg whites are pretty much done. I mean, actually you can take the whole roll and turn it upside down. And that's nice and firm. So that's what you want. Yeah, you go a little bit too far, the egg whites start to split a little bit, and then it looks like snow. So that's what you don't want. We want to be able to have a nice firm egg white mixture that is not going to that's going to mix in nice and uniform. So I'm going to use my whisk first by blending in the egg white. Yeah. So this is going to dilute basically the egg yolk mixture there. It's quite firm and kind of pasty. So we want to kind of liquefy it a little bit by using some egg white. Now, if I add it all in at the same time and I do the same thing, I'm going to kill all of my air pockets in the meringue, which is what I don't want to do. Yeah. So by doing this way, it's a little bit easier to fold this in. So that was second stage. Here's a third stage of egg white I'm adding. Same thing again. Now I'm going to be a little bit more gentle. Yeah. I'm going to use my whisk, but this way I'm using a folding method. So I'm a little bit more careful with it, a little bit more gentle. Now, the last bit, I'm going to just use my spatula here. So scrape down my sides. Yeah, so you can see it's a little bit runny. Before it's quite pasty. I'm going to take the rest of my meringue here. Just going to do it all in one go. This you have to do relatively quickly because every moment that goes by, your meringue will slowly go down. I mean, you've got a few minutes, good 5-10 minutes or so, but you don't want to leave it too long. Yeah, so I'm just going to gently, kind of scrape this a bit, fold it, blend it, very carefully, trying to break up all those lumps that are there, soft lumps, mind you. Yeah, blend it in nicely until we have a nice homogeneous, a nice uniform mixture here. So you can see it's kind of semi-fluid. So this part is quite easy. It's quite doesn't take much time at all. Cooking process is takes a little bit more time. You have to be a little bit gentle because with egg whites, it does take a bit of time. So I'm just going to shift my flour over here, my cooking range here. So already it's pre-warmed. Yeah, I'm going to use a little bit of unsalted butter. Yeah, and this pan is not very warm. Yeah, it's if you use it too hot, it's going to cook too quickly. Now I have an ice cream scoop here, so I'm going to take a nice big scoop and make 3 dollops in this pan here. And I'm going to put on a pan and watch. So this is going to be about 2 minutes. So in the meantime, I can keep my space clear. For the first stage, I usually put in a few drops of water just around the pancakes. Gives it a little bit moisture and keeps the top from getting a skin, from drying out. Now I'm using an induction range, so this is a bit tricky. These can heat up very quickly, and if you don't control it properly, it can overheat really quickly. If you have a traditional oven, traditional stove, if you have a gas stove, it works fantastic. You can really control the heat that way. I prefer that in a way, but in this case here, this is the equipment I have. So we're coming up on the 1 minute. So these here, ideally you want to be able to cook them and serve them, right away. As with any souffle, if you've been to any restaurant that had the chocolate souffle or even cheese, etc., you have to pre-order it in advance, and they cook it. It comes straight from the oven, straight to you, and you eat it right away. You leave it for any length of time, 4 or 5 minutes, and it'll slowly start to, fall, basically. So you can serve with this with whipped cream. You can serve with some berry compote or even just fresh berries and whipping cream as well. I've prepared a couple of different versions here, even maple syrup as well. Great with maple syrup. Lots of Canadians eat it with syrup. Pancakes. So, okay, so we're at about the 2 minute mark, and just going to give it a flip. Okay, so you see they've fluffed up a little bit. You can hear a little bit of popping there. That's the water that was in it. So you want to be careful to flip these over. Yeah, you're slightly turning brown there. Yeah, so very carefully flip them over. Yeah. Now this stage here, I don't cover them 100%. Just leave a little gap there, just to let the steam get out. I don't want to steam them. I want to keep some of the moisture in there, but at the same time, I want to be able to have enough heat in there where they, kind of dries some of the moisture to escape, but also to retain some of it as well. So this second part here takes a little bit longer. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes. So hopefully, I don't want to turn up the heat. Too much heat on the bottom is not good. Yeah, it'll scramble my eggs. So this is something a little bit different than traditional pancakes. If you have kids that like pancakes, you can mix it up a little bit. Have fluffy pancakes, one weekend, normal pancakes another weekend. You see they're retaining their height. This is what you want, right? By keeping the lid on it, you're keeping some of the moisture in it, and you're maintaining the heat that's in and around the pan. So it bakes a little bit even that way, and you're getting that heat to penetrate all the way through the product and cook that egg white. So that's an important part. You want to be able to cook the egg white to a certain point where it's going to be able to stabilize itself. Too much, and it'll overcook your egg white. So now we're about 2 minutes. Hopefully we can get a couple of batches out.
When you done what we can put some question
Do we have any questions
in.
yet?
Yes. Can I use whole wheat flour instead?
Can you use whole wheat flour?
Yes.
It's possible. Whole wheat flour is a bit tricky because it has bran inside. So when you're mixing it, that bran will cut the egg white bubbles, if you will. So it might be a bit tricky. Maybe not do 100%. Maybe swap out, 1/4 or maybe a third of the flour for whole wheat, and try and experiment with that. So it might be a bit tricky, but it might be a nice experiment. Okay, so here I'm just giving it a tap, and you can see that it just springs back nicely. So these are perfect. Yeah, you're gonna give them a flip. Yeah, nicely. I'm just going to put them on the side here. Yeah. And I'll get another batch going. Beautiful. So a little bit more butter. Make sure you use a Teflon pan. I'm a big fan of stainless steel pans, and I tried one. Even with using a little bit of butter in the bottom, it didn't work. It stuck. It made a big mess, and had a big cleanup job. So make sure you use a good quality Teflon pan. I got these ones here just recently. They work very nice, very resilient. Water, just a few drops of water. That's all you need, like a half a teaspoon, just in between the pancakes. Yeah. Try not to put enough water where it touches the pancake. This is what you don't want. It's nicer. These are much nicer. Fantastic. Okay, so they're looking good. Now, so another 2 more minutes. Okay. Did any more questions come in online?
Yes. I have another question for you. Can I use frozen eggs?
Frozen eggs.
Yes, instead of fresh.
You'd have to buy then the frozen egg yolk and frozen egg white separately. And if history reminds me, when defrosting eggs or egg yolks or egg whites, now they have to be separated, right? So you can't buy a whole frozen egg. So egg whites, they tend to be a little bit watery when you defrost them. So it changes the structure somehow. Egg yolks are, on the other hand, are not too bad. Usually, if you buy frozen egg yolks, they have a little bit of sugar in, like 10%, to act as a stabilizer. So in that case, then just reduce a bit of the sugar in the recipe. The frozen egg whites, coming back to that, if you want to use frozen egg whites, possible. You might need to increase the sugar slightly, maybe put a little bit of lemon juice in there, and that acid, will give it, the stability needed to bring it up to close to normal as possible. It won't be 100%, but it's possible. It can be done. Thank you. So another almost a minute here, and then we'll give it a flip.
One more question for you. Can I use
Another one.
Can I make it in the oven?
Can you bake these in the oven? That is a very good question. I don't know. I've never tried it. Being a souffle, most souffles are typically done in an oven, in a ramekin dish. You could do it in a muffin tin as well, but I haven't tried it, so I could not comment. If it was possible. This would take some experimenting. Try it in a pan, this way first, and then once you get used to the recipe, maybe try it in the oven. It would depend on if it's a convection style oven or conventional style oven. That'll make a big difference as well. Okay, let me give this a flip. Yeah, so look at that. Nice, fluffy. Yeah. Nicely colored also. I'm going to give it a flip. There we go. Very nice. You can see that. Yeah. So I'm just going to very carefully. Also, you have to be very gentle as well. Otherwise, any quick motion like that will also, cause them to collapse. So, like I said, just put the pan on there. Leave a small little gap just for a little bit of the steam to come out, because you don't want to steam them. You don't want to cook them, and keep some of the moisture in there to make sure it doesn't dry out too much. So this way here, this should be nice and light. So again, it's going to be 4 minutes. Hopefully a little bit less. This induction cooker does cook quite well. And this pan is, a nice thick, heavy bottom pan, so it heats nice and evenly as well. So I have some berry compote here, and some whipping cream as well. Always my favorite. Yeah, whipping cream, fresh berries, or even if you have frozen berries, cook, warm them up, cook them a little bit, add a touch of sugar, a little bit of cornstarch, make it somewhat thick. And then of course my favorite is the maple syrup as well. Especially with some nice sunny side up eggs, some bacon, etc. And almost ready. We are coming up on to a little over 2 minutes. So how are we doing? Yeah, not too bad. Do we have any more questions come in?
One more question. Can I freeze them to use later?
Can use to freeze later. After cooking, when you freeze them, what might happen is they might freezing process. They might squash a bit of it. I mean, they might deflate a little bit. It's possible, but I think after reheating or defrosting and then reheating again, they might be a little bit rubbery. Not a good idea. This is a perfect thing for a nice Sunday morning, making pancakes. A la minute. One by one. You're serving the family. This would be ideal. Frozen, I don't think it'll work. It'll be rubbery, after defrosting. But thanks for the question. Okay, good. So that one is ready also. So as you can see, nice and light. Again, look at how nice and thick they are. Yeah. Super. So that is done there. Now, those are my pancakes that I just cooked. Yeah. So the recipe that I made, that will probably still have a little bit left, probably make a good 12 plus pancakes. And like I said, serving them with a bit of whipped cream. Yeah. Like that. Some berries. Yeah. Some frozen berries. Wonderful. I mean, kids just love this stuff. Yeah, and it's good as well. You got eggs, you got flour, you got protein, you got dairy, you've got fresh berries, and wonderful maple syrup as well. So there we go. This coming weekend here, there's a wonderful recipe for you to try. Bon appetit, and have a good day.